What is the history of yours truly? In this video, we are going to explore this by going back in time and talking to all of the faculty advisors that have played a role in this magazine since its inception. Just start off by introducing yourself and what you do at Cascadia.
I'm Robin Ferret, and I teach English and humanities, and currently I'm the chair of the English department.
My name's Jared Lising, and I've been working at Cascadia since the school opened in 2000. I work as a part-time faculty member teaching English from the first 3 years the college was open, and then began working full-time, and I teach composition, creative writing primarily.
I'm Courtney Putnam, and I teach magazine publication courses here at Cascadia, and I also teach English 101 and College 101. I've been working on Yours Truly since 2015, with 2016 edition being my first publication with the students.
It was created who was my roommate at the time. His name was Henry Laufenberg. He was an English teacher, like me, and it was the very first year that Cascadia was in existence, was when he started thinking about it. And he proposed a club that would make a literary magazine and that he would be the advisor. And so by the second year of the college, he had the club and the magazine in place, and the first edition was published in, I think, 2002. I think that's right. And it was not called Yours Truly, it was called the Wetlands Review for the first several years. So it didn't actually become Yours Truly until, I want to say, maybe 2005 edition. And that was based on just club members trying to think of the name. The original name was, the Wetlands Review was a vote from all of the students at the time. I gave it the best name.
It wasn't formed around a credit class at the time. It was more just the Creative Arts Club, which met independently of courses. We met outside of our own classes. Students and faculty would meet, and we had a place, we had a little office down by the security office now. Where Kodiak Cave is, that was the Yours Truly office, and that's where we sort of threw everything together.
Most clubs typically have one advisor. We ended up at times having three. I remember working with Robin Ferret and Chris Gildow. And while Robin and I both teach English, she had kind of a specialty in terms of creative nonfiction. I taught poetry, Chris did visual arts, and so there's a little bit of overlap, but I think we supported one another, and oftentimes we couldn't all be there.
But since then, we were able to institute the courses. There's one in the fall, one in the winter, and one in the spring, which gave students credit for the work that they were doing. Oh, gee, that's a good question. Probably 2014, either 2013 or 14.
The name was changed because we felt like the Wetlands Review gave some people an idea that what we were publishing and what we were asking for was creative art and writing around the wetlands or inspired by the wetlands. That was always a question each year. Plus, we also wanted it to maybe reflect something about the campus in addition to sort of the sustainability mission, as well as just sort of what people see when they come on campus. We wanted it to kind of dig into the history of the campus a little bit more.
The Truly Farm is what the college land is built on. And that's what the White House is up here. The farmhouse is still there.
And so we had a brainstorming session where we were just trying to come up with titles. I remember being in a room in the CC 1 or 2 building and just sitting around with students and just doing some kind of creative activities where we tried to put words and phrases and ideas together that we associated with this place, and eventually landed on that somehow. Plus I like the name because it's sort of a way you might sign off or think about referring to who the magazine typically represents, the people of the campus. So.
I have known about Yours Truly since it was a club, and so I've been submitting to Yours Truly for a while. Myself as faculty member, I've been teaching here since 2010, and I have loved the creative arts. I'm a visual artist and a writer myself, and so I love to participate, and then when I got a chance to be the teacher for the class, I was very excited. What's it like to go from a submitter to a faculty member for the class? Well, I can actually still submit as a faculty member, so that doesn't change very much. But it allows me to see the whole process that students go through to create this amazing product, and it just makes me value the submission process and the creative arts in general. Goodness, I feel like every year is an accomplishment, and to watch students produce a magazine in print and to have a launch event at the end of the year is just fantastic. And to see them succeed and have put together a real publication is what I think of as my biggest accomplishment.
Right. Well, the greatest accomplishment kind of on paper is, again, that's why we have it up here, I think, things like winning even national magazine competition awards, campus magazine competition awards, but really to me the greatest success was the community that it built, and that's in terms of the whole campus, like I said a minute ago, but when it was a club, and this may still happen, probably does as a class, it's such intense work and such passionate work, especially when you start really getting into putting the magazine together and editing it, that you form pretty intimate relationships with the people you're working with in many ways. And so working with the same students, when it was a club, it would be 2 and sometimes even 3 years in a row that it would be the same small group of students, and the relationships formed between them were really powerful. To me, that's the greatest kind of personal success of it. There were students in that club back in the neighborhood of like 2006, 7, 8, 9 that went on to be roommates at the 4-year they transferred to together, and who went on to be best friends and even couples after they graduated. There's multiple stories like that, so the love is the greatest success to me.
And how's the content changed over throughout the years?
Well, there's more of it for sure. I think it's grown pretty consistently, maybe some little dips, and maybe it's slowed down from time to time, but you can even just see sometimes. That's why I kind of like looking at the actual artifacts. You can see how thin it was in the beginning, and then it gets thicker and thicker. And I think the amount of submissions has continued to increase too, which in some ways is even more important maybe than what gets published, is that many people know about it and want to be in it and want to put their voice out there. So amount has changed. I don't think genre-wise, I think it's always been open to poetry, fiction, essay, and in terms of visual art, photography and painting and drawing. And
what have I changed? I think with the course series that we have, we've been able to put some more infrastructure into our process. So we now use a submission portal called Submittable, which really helps tracking our submissions. We also have added quite a bit of marketing and social media, as well as campus events and things like that. So students have a wide variety of activities they can participate in.
What's your favorite thing about Yours Truly?
That's a hard question. My favorite thing about it, just as an entity, is the way it represents this campus and this campus community. I think demonstrating both on campus and off campus how important artistic voices are and all forms of creativity is really powerful. I think it makes a really powerful statement. And I think that people in the larger community think so too, because it wins awards often at national and regional competitions. So it's just the voice of campus that it represents.
Well, that's sort of two-pronged. When I worked with the magazine, my favorite part was working with students and being really creative about what the possibilities were. And having that give and take between what is good and what's not good, making the choices for the magazine, seeing the students work in layout and just producing the magazine is very satisfying. Now that I'm not with it, I think my favorite part is just seeing creative work by the campus community that's encompassed in one space inside the magazine.
I think my favorite thing initially was how it was different each year, a different group of students, and because we're typically a 2-year college for the most part, some people would come in, some would stay, others would come back in, and the different kinds of synergy you would get with the group who produced it it looked different each year. As much as we might have wanted to standardize a lot of things, there were all these new, fresh ideas, and watching them take shape in the form of a magazine was always exciting, and it kind of continues to do that.
I think the students are my favorite thing. My students who can collaborate with one another and take ownership of the publication. I see that happening in every class when students are collaborating across teams and really thinking that this publication is theirs because it is.
In conclusion, after completing all of the interviews, and while I'm sitting here editing this video, I have come to have a greater appreciation for the magazine as a whole. It is important to pay homage to the faculty and the students of the past that have worked on this magazine. These people all worked on this magazine because they had a love and appreciation for it. All of them did it on their free time, and they all did it for free. They are the people that helped shape this magazine into what it is today. Without their hard work and dedication, none of us would be getting credits for this class. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have a greater appreciation for yours truly as a whole.